Welcome back to Streamline Entertainment. I hope everyone's having a good Saturday evening so far, feeling a bit better after some medicine and a nice bath. And I just want to go into a topic of conversation at the moment, which is back in the news. Axel rudakubana is a British man currently serving a life sentence in prison for the murder of three young girls, and which was so sad, to be honest with you, and the attempted murder of 10 other children and adults at a dance class in Southport. And this happened in July 2024. It's amazing how time just flies, people. He was 17 years at the time of the attack. On July the 29th, 2024, rudakubana, then 17, carried out a pre-planned knife attack at a Taylor Swift themed dance workshop, killing Bebe King, age 6, Alicia Dots Stancombe, age 7, Alice De Silva Aguirre, age 9. 8 of the other children in the dance instructor Leanne Lucas and businessman Jonathan Hayes were seriously wounded. In 2025, rudakubana pleaded guilty to all charges, including 3 counts of murder, 10 counts of attempted murder, production of biological toxin. Wow, written, this gets worse. And possession of a terrorist document. He was sentenced to life imprisonment with a minimum term of 52 years, meaning he will not be eligible for parole consideration until he's nearly 70. He avoided the whole life order only because he was under 18 when the crime was committed. Background inquiries: rudakubana had a history of violent behaviour and had been known to public services and counter-terrorism police prevent programs. Since 2019, he was referred to prevent 3 times between 2019 and 21. On each occasion, he was deemed not appropriate for intervention. This is unbelievable. And like I said, I did read somewhere that his parents were taken to a known address. Why was that? I often wondered why was that. Were they foreign? In some parts, what I've read, you would see yes, in some not. But like I said, they weren't in control of what he was doing. And don't tell me they didn't know everything that he was looking into. On the terrorism front, a public inquiry was commissioned to investigate the missed opportunities and system failure that could have prevented the attack. The inquiry heard evidence that he was expelled from the secondary school for carrying a knife. His parents lived in fear of him, and he had threatened to kill his father. This is what I'm saying. He just wasn't in control. He spent a lot of time in his room, and he was just like a time bomb ready to go off. And I don't know why. The police apparently in a news article said that they'd gone to the house a few times over Axel kicking off with his parents. Family support workers closed his case 10 months before the attack because they could not get to see him. He developed an obsession with extreme violence and materials related to war and conflict. He was able to purchase a knife on Amazon despite a history of violent offences. Unbelievable. The inquiry has led police to re-examine the conduct of his parents during his upbringing. I mean, this is very, very important. I mean, it just seems like they were either scared of him. Yes, I do agree with that, but also they let him get away with the lot, which obviously led to him murdering innocent young children, which is bang out of order. So Axel is currently held at HMP Balmarsh in a high security category A prison. Reports indicate he is being held in the total isolation in segregation unit due to significant threats from other inmates. Police have also investigated an incident where he allegedly threw boiling water at a prison officer. I mean, to be honest, this is just getting absolutely worse, what we're hearing from this man. You know, you tend to think when young men go into prison, I know what he done was extremely bad, and he shouldn't get out of prison. That is my fault. Even at 70, he shouldn't get out of prison. He should be alive for life, technically. But he seems to be getting worse, deteriorating. Either he's going to get killed in prison by someone else, or he's going to take his own life. And it's sad for me to say that, but like I said, it just seems to be going that way in what I've been reading up on. Let me know your thoughts on it, people. Let's move on. This is by Behind Bars TV, Ricky Killen. And like I said, he's got some really, really sort of decent videos out there about people in prison and he seems to sort of, that's his sort of niche. Let's get straight into what he says about Axel.
Rudakubana getting kept in the same conditions as Hannibal Lecter. Now this is the news headlines today, and more so in the Mirror, which I'll get into in a moment. But they're now saying Axel Rudakubana will be getting kept in the same sort of conditions as Hannibal Lecter. He'll be getting fed through a flap in his door after attacking the screws last week inside the HMP Belmarsh segregation unit. Now, the majority who watch me channel will have seen the video that I've done and the breakdown about that little cretin after you attack the screws and what will happen to him. But when I was doing a bit of research up the day on different topics, and then I seen this one and I seen the headlines when it said that about him being kept in the same conditions as Hannibal Lecter from Silence of the Lambs. And I will put the picture on the thumbnail, which is in the papers. But when I did go down and read the full article, surprise, surprise, I see my name in, which I'll put up here. But it did say Ricky Colleen, ex-Cartier prisoner, as though I'll give them the story. They've actually took the story from me channel. I've had no contact with them about this story. They went and took it from me channel without even asking us and put me in the paper. So that's the reason why I'm coming on and doing this one, because obviously it is all over today about the conditions that he's going to be getting kept in. So when you attack a screw down the block, the first thing that happens to you, you get wrapped up, you get twisted up. You'll be lucky if you come away without any broken bones, which, if you're someone like him and you've attacked the screws down the block, you're fair game. You expect to get the hiding of your life. Obviously, when they're wrapping them up, the bits of blind spots inside the pad, they know exactly where they are, and they know exactly where the pressure points are. They know exactly how to bend your arm, they know exactly how to bend the wrist, and they know exactly how to inflict the most pain and the most long-lasting as well. Because the world have been giving them their fucking good few knees in places where he deserved it, where he will be still feeling it now. But there is special pads where they chuck these type of prisoners in as well. But everyone will agree, this cretin should have been in somewhere like that from the start. But I've done it in the last video, I've done a bit of a breakdown, but I will...
I mean, one of the problems I see with him is that he can't be trusted around people, whether he's in prison, whether he's out. He cannot be trusted. He's like a time bomb ready to go off. You don't know what's going through his mind. And like I said, you don't know what he's thinking, which is, and obviously what he done, I think he should have been in isolation for that as well. Because I heard that people were trying to get to him in prison. But like I said, obviously the guards are not going to let that happen. Or they shouldn't let it happen, really, to be honest with you, at the end of the day. Because like I said, he's still a human being in the prison system. But for what he done is unforgivable.
Go over it again on here. You will be in a pod where the furniture, where there will be no furniture, but the bed, if it's not concrete, it's hard and plastic, fixed into the floor, so you can't rip pieces of the bed off. There will be no porcelain toilets, it'll be metal framed ones, so it all depends which block it is, but they did used to use the metal, which were stuck to the wall, so obviously you can't smash the cistern there, the toilet, sorry, and use the porcelain bits as weapons. And some of them that are on shit-ups and different things, a shit-up is when a prisoner covers themselves in his own excrement. They have got pads where there is a bit of there's a drainage hole inside the cell, so they can just go in and hose the filthy animal down, and the water will just drain away inside the pad. Because, as you can imagine, he will not be getting trapped very humanely, which he doesn't deserve. But You'll not be getting out very much for exercise. Exercise, you are supposed to get it every day, even if it's just 15 minutes, 5, 10, 15 minutes.
Outside, yeah.
As long as you're getting something. But under exceptional circumstances, where the screws might be low on staff, so they can't get him out on exercise, which will accidentally on purpose, there was no staff on to do his exercise. So he will be left to rot and stink and fester with his own thoughts in that pad, because the screws will be playing mental games with him. And like I said, he just deserves. For what he's done, he's in prison for killing 3 innocent little angels. And he's now in there attacking the screws, the only ones that are there to protect him. The rest of the...
That was some of it behind bars. I'm not going to play it all, people, because I do want to move on to some other things about what other people are saying about it. But it's sick. And like I said, if you're attacking prison guards, and he's got to do what? Another 50-odd years? 60 years? It's just unbelievable how he can attack or throw hot water, over a prison guard and expect to be protected in there. It's just unbelievable, isn't it? At the end of the day, you sometimes think people that go to prison that they're going to learn the lesson, but I don't think this. Axel will, and I think it'll only get worse from there. To be honest with you, this is the article, news article that I did want to go back through. I did read it and obviously saw the news on it as well, and we're going back earlier this year, and it says latest family of Axel Rudakubana moved to safe secret location by police. Why is that? Why? Is it because other friends or the public were questioning him and why he was allowed to get away with so much?
More about the attack, but the attacker himself. Now, in the last hour, the leaders of the church, where members of his family attended, have commented. Now, it's the community church in Southport. It's a Christian church. They were responding to suggestions that Axel Rudakubana used to attend services there. They have stressed that he didn't, but his dad did. Now, the church has said the Rudakubana family are, quote, devastated following this terrible incident. It says that they have been moved to a new secret location by police for their own protection. It is the first time we've had word from the family, albeit indirectly. In number 10 this morning, Dan, I heard Keir Starmer say that the country needs to have a fundamental change in how it protects its children, and there will be so much more detail about those missed opportunities in the sentencing process, which will start on Thursday morning.
I mean, that was an old article, people, but it just makes me think, did his mum and dad know a little bit more what he was up to, and could they have helped stopped it? It's just weird. I just find it kind of weird that they've been moved to a safe location. I mean, there's a lot, obviously, the police and basically higher up don't tell us. And like I said, he didn't seem to be a major threat, but that proved to be wrong, didn't it? At the end of the day, and like I said, I think what they should do at the end of the day is throw away the key. But like I said, if anyone gets to him, it's sad to say, but like I said, I think he's as good as dead. Let me know what you think, people. Don't forget to subscribe to Streamline Entertainment. You'd like to think that people would try to want to change, whatever they've done, try to change their life and come out and do good. But like I said, I don't think this young man would ever do that, to be honest. I think he's done the worst, killing children. He's done the worst thing that anybody could do.